Unim bibi. Sɛ mehu sɛ ɔhwɛ me video ni sɛ na m'ani agye saa na mehu deɛ ɔyɛ me ho. Wate ase. Na menhyira wo ate sɛ wohwɛ me video no. Na mmom mesra wo sɛ ne da wodi kan a woahwɛ me channel yi so deɛ anaasɛ wohwɛ me video bi a na wamia red button a ɛwɔ da hɔ no. So atwa so subscribe. Womia so a na adɔma bi aba hɔ bɛyɛ obi aba nkyɛn no wamia so. Sɛ bia aba bɛka busuadɔm yi ho. So wate ase. Na ama adesua no ayɛ fɛ. Sɛ mehu sɛ wohwɛ video no a na ama me energy no na metimi yɛ more videos na me dey ama ona wetima asua ade so ati ase the more wo sua na wo hu na me so mani eji bebre na me ma ratio mu pa ne say obi bia betima ay developer abechen me wala say obi developer na wa che me a me hwe wa dey no so na be adwumi board things so so ye bibi creative ona say o we ya na fa pen paper na can imagine wa software na wa ton na wa man ko for so I use so I say no when you kakra go bottom what I say India from Felix Aywa me na dani da bia me ne mudi nkita ho you know we discuss suade so na me di animu ma suade what I say inti video we na ye no ye mbia fa software design and our system design na previous video na ye no we kasa fa soft systems analysis no and my who assignments be and there's a case study na using attendance system so the case study na samba hana attendance system can say be running through kusi the time we reach first phase we say good nti you can say attendance system will be a bit mafa attendance system be about the whole concept near attendance system so attendance system in let's say church and I say juma bima and I say visa good. So in this system design, never say say a system designer. On say in the previous video, you can say user requirement be a user requirement library. Inti obi the juma bro say juma man. So or the juma buy no what trim near ma per se we man the requirement in our being now good. Or the requirement number or train software no ha. Inti near man now be go through from user requirements and virtual software no na constitute software design and system design the processes so what I say nti draw a case per definition of system designer e can say the software design or system design includes all the activities do you get it all the activities that help in the transformation of user requirements to programmable codes. What I say it's very simple. It includes all the activities. Jumadi bia yidibia from I be boy my transforming user requirements into software development. That is all about software design. Actually I said. Okay. Nti yenhwe tools, the tools we are using our system designing. Okay, then whenever we are using the things that we use in the system design are boy and master jumadi strong SCP. So I say, boy, me team yes, I do. All right, in video we know you are listening. Say in the first point in a pseudocode, and I say structured English. Pseudocode and say structured English. Now you can't pseudocode and say structured English. I say definition. A pseudocode is artificial or informal language. Okay, that is used to develop or that helps in developing codes or algorithms. Alright? G is artificial or informal language used in developing programming algorithms. What I say? Never say actually say in fact you be to say yada sorry cause a bit dianopa. Alright. Yehwe sa jumadi sa nema jumadi ID yes say better sorry ni jumadi be dia cause a be kwa dianopa. Yehwe senate no say you presenting no in a form of a pseudocode down you be sure say list no back not say in an essay form say ye kasa to and that you be sure say one me that sorry na be am bomb pie two na akọ from your phone ahwese me message so a three me call washroom call say meet me akọ you know ma akọ do so kakra number 4 I'll try to me say I'll brush your teeth. Number 5 na wakɔ dware. Number 6 na wakɔ akɔnoa aduane. Number 7 na madidi. So nti ɔn sɛ yɛbubu mu no asɛ breaking it down no ɛbaeɛ yɛnya 7 points from sɛ yɛda yɛsɔre kɛtɛkɔ sɛ yɛbɛdidi. Yɛnya 7 points. And you can imagine if you kasa for the entire day, you know, and then maybe you so that's it. But if I dream and consulting, yeah, who knows, but Sani Manema in a case the dream was pet, then we enter into the arena of software system design. So we are a lifestyle design. Let me put it that way. Lifestyle design. Aha. We just structure our system we bet then once we are falling within the programming arena. Only a page say they different now they different. To see a person mean how you what you say. You know, having said that, right, you can where you know, your fire attendance system also and to let's set an example concerning our attendance system. Now it will follow, you know, be on track. First one example I'm citing and the number say the lifestyle activities are essential to system design. No, what I say. Until your fire attendance system now, okay. Attendance system no yɛwɔ you know on attendance yɛwɔ sɛ yɛcreate staff no ɔmo hɔ no sɛ yɛcreate ɔmo na yɛcreate login nti mɛfa 2 examples no pɛ yɛhyɛ ase yɛdom wɔ sukuu a when you are going into this detail now we begin to you know expatiate it, all right, okay, because we spend some time here in the design phase and prepare because the next step from we are trying to start the main what you call coding, all right, until we prepare we say we stay on form kakra sa near design as power say here and no the fact what I say. So in creating you know creating staff no yeah basically we say number 1 a staff no by data. Number 2, I'll say you validate data no. Near say data no correct and you're correct. So yes you're correct a baby and you're correct a baby a honor a free be if statement, you know, conditional statements by honor. The same thing applies say oh sorry you know. Say yes oh sorry and you need to be an answer party. So you also check something in mind, say, oh, do I even feel like eating? If yes, you go and cook. If no, you just stop, you don't cook. Do you get it? So if on a normal day now, if now say it's there, if no your friend a conditional statement, it's a condition. So if this condition is satisfied, then do this, else do that. It's our lifestyle. They be a yes animal. The same thing that is your programming. So programming is not far from our lifestyle. Do you get it? So this session, this is an introductory side. We'll flip from this a bit free introduction side, then I'll call classroom. The classroom, I'll present the structure. I'll make answer on how we present the structure too. Okay, in a technical form. All right. Then if you want to mark some other tools, like maybe you know any context diagram, use case diagram, flowchart diagram, entity relation diagram, sequence diagram. Okay, so these diagrams, no, I'll discuss them into details. May discuss it in a classroom. A flippy free classroom, I will talk about it into details and show you how they all behave. Okay, good. And this is says to see you say when you install this our software draw.io software now I'm sure what call if we video we are then you go to my other video now me no installing prerequisite materials no call no now download this our software draw.io no one install it. So now wash because then be a better say use our software no in this design things context diagrams in this our software na good inti baby you dream still now say unya subscribe here or daroma on say channel a very interesting, a very interactive too, a very educative to the subscribe on me a red no so let me a bell no so now send be the video no for be at all ma be first group now so be nya notification no now as what can say mine what I say good who any comments be so drop it in the comment box. Okay, until the form be say near classroom until better so for until we share on the bad media be no and when it comes to the activities that we carry on every day we have two types of
main activities, like within activities, you know, two things are yeah. First one, no, your friend will be conditional statement. Conditional statement. And then say, and review a true evidence here, yeah, you might be a it believes a young for be. You know, we ask ourselves some questions. Okay, if I do this, then this. If I go and the money is ready, I'll take the money. Say me call, na se scanner is ready a media ba. Na say any ho no ma, na me the encourage na ma be. So as condition, I want na me call kodi no. Say be CPA and I say ebe nkonimdi a. Yes, me call na se scanner ho no ma. So I say na me jaba. You know no ma na some encourage say oh, I just leave a message say okay, me call na nipa call na be just scan here ready I'm on frame me. You get it. Inti sa example here am sisi ano. What I say scenario we no. Conditional statement and your friends ye di ho juma. What I say. You be kasa when say sometimes we be using if say three kasa no be kasa say me kwa na sis kana ready a na me jaba. But if I say if I go and the money is ready, then I'll take it. Else I wouldn't. I will leave a message. And yes, sir. Inti sending and yes, sir. No. And yes, sir. Condition statement. Where you can send me break. Na did ya call. But also so I can be a looping statement. The looping statement so I say. Tell you what you want. If we go to work, yeah, say okay, your time and as a school, your time. Maybe from another 8 to 12, your classroom. So 12, you breaking your lunch. Yeah, but within 8 to 12, no. Do I need you or no? It's repeating. Sɛ ebesua adeɛ saa kò sɛ tɔn bɛbɔ ne a yɛkɔyɛ ade foforɔ wate aseɛ. If it's at workplace we'll be working until 12 then we break for lunch. Nti yɛabrabɔ mu no yɛdane daa dwumadi a yɛdi no our daily activities na yɛyɛ no you realize we deals with conditions conditional statement then we deal with loops iterative activities. They were ɛbɛyɛ saa kòsi sɛ yɛbɛwie. Sɛ if our nipa life our life is full of conditions and looping iterative. Wodidi ɔda wasɔre wokɔ adwuma waba hɔ waba fie wabɛda wasɔre wadidi that loop yɛbɛyɛ saa wu a na asa. So when we die it means we've end our loop, so we just exit to different area and within the day if I grow to this age I'll do this else I'll do that kind of thing. So if the else if else, so that constitutes the conditional statement and the looping statement. So in pseudocode no yɛnhwɛ how a conditional statement the conditional statement no if statement yɛnhwɛ how a present if statement no so in a structured form so if statement no say in a structure no yɛhwɛ no syntax no yɛsɛ structure no ne yɛbea no nti yɛwɔ sɛ if the condition sɛ mekɔ sɛ if no ɛyɛ sɛ no condition yɛ sɛ mekɔ na sika no wɔ hɔnom a so mekɔ na sɛ sika no ayɛ ready a instruction yɛ sɛ mɛgye aba wate aseɛ ɛno yɛ if statement no yɛsan wɔ baako nso wɔ no yɛfrɛ no if else nti if ɔsan kɔyɛ sɛ mekɔ na sɛ sika no ayɛ ready a mɛgye aba ɛnyɛ saa a mɛngye na mɛde nkra gya. So there's a if the money is ready, I'll come along with it. Else I'll leave a message. And if else on such here. Your back who's one of my say if else we say and one yes and then was if another if statement. It's a friend of nested if. Then no see okay no so it will say your if statement kakaka we ha and you will so she inside your friend of nested na shim sa. Nti bi wɔ ka say oh sɛ mekɔ na ne mekɔgye sa no hɔ no ma na masan bisa ne says can I ready a saa yɛ ready bi a mɛgye aba so nti first one wɛtɛ sɛ nipa kɔ no hɔ nom a sɛ mekɔ na asom esi wɔ hɔ nom a so ɛho na mabisa ne says can I ready a says can I ready a na magye aba ɛnyɛ ready a na maka kyɛn sɛ mekɔ ebi a ɔma me da foforɔ a mɛba so na wei no so aba abɛyɛ sɛ mekɔ na asom esi ɛwɔ hɔ nom a na mekɔ yɛ wei oni hɔ nom a ɛno asɛm de nkra gya ɛma so that is what this nested if statement. It's you say day in day out now we apply this if conditional statements no day in day out. Mprebia you knew where you might be dini na ide. Let's say if no fra need if no so fra. Yeah, yes, I juma di na he. Inti ye looping statement no so. Looping statement or while loop. Inti while loop no so no, it follow the same thing as no flow no as if statement. While the condition, then the statement. While the condition statement. It's kind of reading one dia in the major. They get it. That is the while loop. And yeah, well, do while loops or do while statement. While loop. Inti, and also, you see, yeah, just kind of bra. Say condition no meet there. It is say as soon as you home kwan there and just kind of bra. So until you overtrain, or buy just kind of bra. That is what they do. They say, do the action. Who's the condition is met? The condition is here, say, on my idea, and you want to train, overtrain now, could you over. That is what they do while loop here. What I and yeah, about another one to a friend of for loop. And the for loop no so there. And also no or they on the parameters with them. So the for loop comes with this parameters. So also when your initial value, no what test the condition, what we know by so the back one about it. That is what is how it is. Now in the API say you display information me to say yeah 1 to 10. We say display 1 to 10, number 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. We say display. No say we say share free baby. Na e we baby. Na enkomra bia no say the baako beka baako ho. Ase na until say benya 10 no na ya break. Nti saa results na pa e the follow up na yes anima no. So nti yen example we say. So nti as follow up no the nature baako ni we C language no. Programming languages na go mebre o C, C++, Java, your Python, or PHP scripts language, and then I don't know. Omudoso. Until when you see senior that true, until per se you print it number 1 to 10. So until you know senior tron, who for now for loop, you see initial value. The initial value you ha see and start from 1. Now condition, say number no you should end at 10 because you see less than or equal to 10 means 10 is part of the condition. Let's just say free 1 to see 10. Na increment no the nature no be sen. Ko bia na emfa baako nka ho. Load bia emfa baako nka number no. Then print mine. Nti first one I shall say free 1 to be display 1 no. 1 no kwa na be san kwa kofa bi. The baako be ka ho na ko 2 obe check in root 10. Na san baako aka ho na e ko 3. Na san ba be check in root 10. Na baako aka ho na e ko 4. Nti root 10 na san ko bi ma e ba na 11 because what the baako aka ho. To do what's in 11 outside boundary no. Na if you pause na display results na by. Nti saa na for loop no ye use no. Acha what you say. Ento so. Nti yen hwe example bi a yaye concerning the pseudocode no on the attendance system na the assignment de mine no. So nti you say we should write a pseudocode for creating stuff on attendance system. Nti don't forget say pseudocode no informal language, in a structured language, in a structured English. What I say. The structure it has to be a structured na methodical. So methodical. In the beginning, when you draw 1, 2, 3, 4, you follow the instructions as it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you shall see with the start. First, when then you say it me capture the background, the bio data. Then the din, the fear with the gender. The gender the training to make. You'll be able to say need buying. Then the phone and etc. What is nti ebe taking for corner bio data. If you are near trace bio data na ya no no ano no. So say no ano na ya na say na pen on it na ba. Then if you have validity say if data na ya no well answer validation or during validation right check say if then until say they use loop no conditional statement na they can one same previously. They will say if data received no is valid. So data when you if it is valid, then insert the data no into the staff table. Then you print to say data saved successfully. Okay. Say data and receive and say correct. Say we near be. And now say anye say nye correct. Else if this data receive no, it's not correct. Say on print error message. You get it. In the way no, sink it to example na site here no in the conditional statement side on. Else you print the error message. Then you end if. So end the if no. So block if block we end it. Then we complete. So we start and we end. So every pseudocode we are now will start and end, beginning and the end. So and in creating stuff, no, this is the steps that you follow. These are the steps you follow. It is also step ways so I do say oh draw flowchart diagram, near other context diagram, especially the flowchart diagram. No, it follows one. The child say a flowchart diagram. Now we will talk about discussing details with the detailed example, the complex examples concerning the this case diagram, the pseudocode. No, get it. That's say yeah flowchart diagram now. We're discussing more details to get it with detailed examples on the pseudocode. So yeah, here example two. Example two is a create pseudocode for staff login on the staff attendance. And the honey be use nested if no. Here how a nested if no so you apply or pseudocode no so. The no so you starting. You be staff name say you login until you login in be a request staff name or password. Name or password. The username. And the you got that staff name anywhere. Then validate here say entries na enter no correct. So if the staff name and the password no is valid, if it is valid, then you compare staff name and the password no with the data na you can capture table no staff table no. What I say. Do you compare near say if staff name no and the password no if it is found in the staff table now and you redirect the user no we call this procedure or function to redirect the user. So now say if the staff name and the password is not found, you get it. That is the L side no. And then you call step two. Step two is to say gather staff name and staff password. The person can see it. Then we end it. But if the staff name and we no password no, it's not valid. So we say if it is valid that any way condition we say statement way what I say. But if it is not valid, then we go to step two. We move back to step two. Then we end the whole block, the bigger block no. Then we end our steps. So someone say nested if the application is very simple. And total was now full one say very simple. If this statement test the condition again, if this statement is satisfied, then we proceed. Else go back to step two. Okay. That is it for pseudocode. No examples of pseudocode. And try and say, yeah, let's try our hands on this exercise. Nti I say, okay, say me intro video no, me discuss it be fan say that sorry, ko say that sorry any so be the anopa. Well, before you wake up from bed, okay, after you've woken up from bed and through to your breakfast, me discuss it no intro video na me here no. So here pseudocode, you see intro say write a pseudocode on your activities, and that takes place when you wake up from bed through to when you take your breakfast. Okay. Nti pseudocode na present no, I say So also hwɛ so na fa twerɛ exercise wei no. Fa twerɛ ate ase. We are now send that to email way. Make him if they need corrections to I'll correct them and send it back to you. Then you also apply it. What you say. Okay, so let's move on. The moving on no. Yan unified modeling languages no. UML no ni nyinaa na saa UML we say na ɛboa me timi convert user requirement no to a visual form. You get it? Visual form. Nti ano no nneɛma a yɛde yɛ no yɛwɔ context diagram hɔ, yɛwɔ use case diagram hɔ, yɛwɔ flowchart diagram hɔ, yɛwɔ entity relation diagram hɔ, yɛwɔ sequence diagram hɔ. Saa nneɛma wei nyinaa ebi ka ho but wei na ɛbɛ focus. Nneɛma wei nyinaa na ɛboa yɛn. Ne nyinaa yɛ diagram nti no wofa pseudocode no wie a na wa extract entities be frame na watimi de draw we no to draw na de kyerɛ user na who say ampa nema see na mehwehwɛ no but I know nyɛ for we say I know you prepare for developers no so de ɛwɔ hɔ nti ɛkɔ yɛ nim bɛduru hɔ no deɛ yes anema we ne de ama nipa korɔ no wate ase sɛ okay ho ɛboa no ma ne hu the flow how our system no ebe flow the system never over develop your man no how it will flow so use these diagrams to do those things in the end where say per se context diagram na and now you case and as a flow chart nema bɛn ne behia e de aye what I say they are draw diagram no successfully the eba context diagram na yɛwɔ saa circle way one circle way bia e say the process adwuma kɔ na wodi no what I say adwuma kɔ na wodi no na representing no you draw saa start circle ni na about data store also represent database baby I will store information no data no and the basa rounded rectangle where square where who has and also so representing entity the entity near every all the element acting we get it work operating or no any system na nkasa system na no relation you get it you want to say user no be who your staff your HR or way or now fall under entities and I don't know they represent you more with this how we say no draw entity need anywhere inside and now your ROE so your friend data flow it's how our information be flow from the process no the way na connecting to the way never connecting way to way and data store no to process no the sanity we friend notations these are the notations objects are they draws are context diagram the use case diagram no so no dey nneɛma a yɛde draw use case diagram nti use case diagram kakraka no ne nyinaa yɛfrɛ no system boundary nti wei na represent the entire system no ɛna use case no ɛna yɛ the functions of the system John the functions of the system a yɛyɛ no actors no nso yɛ wɔn a as entities no and this represent the entities nti obiara or interacting with the system no represent wɔn as the actors the actors yeah this line way no I connect actors no to the use case inside the boundary system. Nti yɛbɛhyɛ ase draw use case diagram ne context diagram bi ne yɛhu how a yɛbea ne te ne soma ne te so na afei asan yɛ flowchart diagram no in next video no flowchart diagram na move akakra nti in the next video no ne yɛ discuss flowchart diagram into details ɛno deɛ yɛn discuss wɔ nti yɛhwɛ flowchart diagram so sɛ yɛdraw a nneɛma a yɛbɛhia nti saa over sign wei and yes time say make pseudocode make I say pseudocode no we use it mostly with the flowchart diagram because flowchart diagram a pseudocode won't see our starting your end no representation our hand arrows third direction no and your symbol we say so parallelogram no no see one symbol no ha and also I say yeah display will be information be man user no and I say this see a input we freeze and on man the saa symbol we say so ɛna depict natural information they were inside ɛna you say process information be a data be so there saa rectangular way no rectangle way so na ɛyɛ ɛna decision if statement nested if near the na make kyerɛ mu earlier on and so yɛ de saa diamond we say ɛna represent the decision what you say you appreciate it more when we start doing the flowchart diagram it's very nice then here no until has here you say you better identify some entities concerning our attendance system now you're developing. What I say because we can previous slides na make asafa say entity so what I say you try to identify entities ni bi ha na you how a flow no so ebeko so until you say entities na you apply omo e diagram na e be draw ni until ha your staff no you be HR ebenya administrator ebenya report send your leave request so and then salaries so database class bit matter you can think aloud so you can think aloud then you come out with any other entities are you anything that you think the system
can capture or the system will do. You just bring them all together. That's what I say. Until with these ones, so we try and represent them on our context diagram and our use case diagram for us to see the flow, how it will work. They represent on names in it. Until session we know so see. Tiebeko draw.io no. We say me catch you say draw.io software na me initially no in my video installing prerequisite materials no. I talked about it. You should draw them, you should download them and install. It is only install it and go visit that video and install it so that we join us when I'm walking through how to do, because in the next way phase now we are going to start working on it as soon as after this very slide. We are moving to it right now so that we all be on the same page. Okay. So we move to the draw.io. So I've already opened it. So I'll create a new project here. Okay. I'll create a new project here. And in here, I'll type context diagram. All right. Then I'll click on create. So I have my workflow here. With this side representing the notations that I'll be using. So you have the actor here, we have the circle here, we have the oval here. I have this is the name. The name shows the ellipse, and we have our directional connectors and so on and so forth. Okay. So that's why I was saying this tool is best. It's best for our presentation. It is best for our classes here. All right, so now let's draw our context diagram. So how to use this system? I will need my circle as my process. So I'll either you click on it or you drag. So when I click on it, it will come. I can also drag it onto the web form. All right. So any form you want it, you can get it. Okay. So when I click on it, it will come. Then I just position it to how like wherever I want it to be. All right. Okay. Then I present my entities. So I'll click on it. It's a rounded rectangle. So I'll click on it, then position it to wherever I want to position it. Okay. I'll click on it again because I need several of them. For my entities, the entities that we identified were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 6. So I'll need 6 entities scattered around the circle. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Need 2 more. I'll bring this one here. Then bring this one here. Yeah. So you can just arrange it to your perfection, how you want it to look like. You can just arrange them like that. Okay. So I think this one is in line here. This one is in line here. Then this one is in line with them. That would be nice. All right. So come down. All right. Good. So I've presented my notations here. So I have to now put captions in them. So when you want to add a text, okay, when you want to add a text in the notation, you just have to double click. When you double click, it will activate the text option. All right. So I'll enter here the name of my system. Attendance system. If I want to increase the font size, okay, I'll select all.
either dragging or just select all. So you do Control A. Control, you press and hold the Control key, then you press the A key to select all. Then I go to the font size here. So you have the style and the size and other things. So wherever you want, you can just play around them. Okay. So I just increase my font size to 18. 18 will be too big, or 18 is okay. Okay, so 18. Then I'll bold it. Right. Okay. So when I go here in the entity, I'll type staff here. Staff. So now I'll type all of them. When I'm done, then I'll come and increase their font size and then I'll bold it too. So moreover, you can do it as and when you are doing the thing. Or let me do it as I'm doing it. So I'll change the font size here to 18, then I'll bold it. Then I'll come to this one. I'll enter HR, select, change font size, bold it. Come to admin, select all, bold, change font size. Then over here, can say report or salaries. Salaries are very important. Then I'll say I'll need my reports. Reports. Select all, bold, change the font size. Then the last one, leave request. Select all, bold, change the font size. Okay. So it's getting interesting. So now let me get my connectors, my line to, indicate the relationship between these entities to the inner system. Okay. All right. So it can be done in a simple way. You see over here, we have some arrows pointing, 4 arrows pointing outside, like pointing out of this notation. Same thing applies to all of them. When I hover the mouse here, I'll see the 4 points. It helps you to connect to these entities easily. However, you can also do your own. Okay. You can also do your own by dragging the directional arrow here, connector here, to it, to point to it. Because here we have more than, if we're having only 4, okay, notation around this circle, you get it, then it will be very simple to use the arrows that is presented by this notation. Okay. So now, in our case here, I'll click on this this directional connector. Okay. As soon as we click on it, it will just appear in the center like that. And you have to drag it. So when you want to drag it, just hover the mouse on like this. You see, the mouse pointer on it comes in 3 forms. Comes in 3 forms. We have the first one that looks like the hand. Okay. Then we have this with the 4 arrows. Then we have this with the plus sign. All right. So if you want to move it, you just have to make sure your mouse changes, the pointer changes to this 4 arrows. You click on it, and wherever you want to put it, you just drop it there. All right. So now this one has to go here. Okay. And it's not straight. So you can still change. That is for your own, for your own discretion. You want to make it look nice. So we have one here. Then have another one here. Connect. This is connecting this. Another one. This is connecting this one. Another arrow to be connected to this.
another arrow here to that. Okay, another arrow here. Okay, so we have it like that. So this is our simple context diagram that we have presented here. Okay, very simple one that we have connected here. So now, if let's say you want to write something on it, want to write something on the arrows, we can say, okay, if you want to write something on the arrow, all right. When you double click on the arrow too, so make sure the pointer changes to the plus sign on the notation. Okay, on the notation. So when you double click, okay, when you double click, it also allows you to enter something there. All right. So let me say log in. Select all. Here, increase the font size. Now bold it. So you see, I have here as login. So it means HR will log into the system. Okay. HR logged into the system. This is so this the arrow is coming from the system to the HR. So this one cannot be logging. So we can change this text to, let's say, response. But the response is coming from the HR. So there should be another connector from HR to the system here. All right, okay. That is if you are adding relationships, you want to show the relationships between the two. That is how we do it. Okay. So this represents our simple context diagram for the attendance system. Simple context diagram. So let me complete this one. Then, or at your side, at your end, you can replicate them on. Okay, your hands on. Try your hands on it. Then it will help. It will make you understand the thing very well. So the HR, put another arrow here, then connect it to. So this one, you see, I don't want the arrow to appear in that form. So having drawn the main line, then I'll come to the center here. I have a faint blue point here. So I'll click on it and drag it up. So when I drag it up, how I want the shape to appear, I'll just design it that way. So I want it to come this way and let's see, come that way. So from the HR to this way. So now here I can enter my login here. In bold. Okay. So what it means is the HR will log into the system. Then the system will do its validations and send response to. Okay. So that is what I want the system to do. Me, I want the system to do. You will also think of different things. So you just create it on your application. Sorry, yeah, in your application, the context that when you are creating your diagram, you can do how you want your system to do. Okay, from my perspective, this is how I want to do. It doesn't mean you're supposed to follow the same thing. The concept is supposed to be the same. Okay, so let's say when I'm done and I want to write something, I want to write the name of this diagram here. I can choose right at the top here or beneath here, but I write at the top here. So that one, when you double click, just double click, you can have your text here. Or same text is in the tools here. When you click on the text, it will come, drag it to wherever I want it to appear. Okay. You double click, then you enter what you want to enter. So let's say attendance, attendance system contest diagram. All right. So this is how it's looking like. I don't want it this way. So I have to stretch the edges, position it well, double click.
then increase the font size 24, and I'll bold it. Okay, so now we are done. We are done with our attendance system context diagram. Okay, done with the system with the context diagram. So now let's save it. Okay, let's save it. So in saving it, I'll come to File, then go to Save As. Then I'll choose the location where I want the diagram to appear. So I'll go here, then search for a proper, or let me put it in my desktop. So contents diagram, and I don't want the extension. I don't want it to be saved as an XML file. So you click on the save as type, then you choose PNG. Choose PNG, then you save. So when I go to my desktop right now, I will see this image over there. Okay. So now let me go to my desktop. Let me go to my desktop. Then I click on it. You see I have my content diagram. When I click on it, it will take time to open. When Windows 10 comes with this, it's on delay, as I don't know why it takes much time to load these. So let me flip back. When it comes up, we'll go there. So you see how nice it is. Very simple to develop. Our context diagram has been implemented, right? You can add more tools to it. You can have database, this data store here, the data storage. You can add it as a database. Yeah, you can let's even add it. So let me put this one somewhere here. Data store. Okay. So let me say database. Add anything. Now add a connector to it. I want it to touch the edges. Okay. So now therefore, let's see if our diagram is ready. All right, so it's here. So this is our picture. What we just saved. Okay. You see how nice it is. So this is a simple context diagram that we have developed, that we have designed. Okay. So sometimes when you give a contract to a developer to work on it for you, you'll be presenting these diagrams and it will be so new to you that you don't know your left from your right about it. Okay. It's nothing. It's just a context diagram trying to understand what you really want him to do. Okay. So this is a context diagram. So let's go back to our diagram here and let's do small another example on the use case diagram. Okay, use case diagram. So we create a new file, new project. So here we have a flowchart diagram, so you can even click on it. No, we're not doing flowchart. So let's create a blank diagram and name it use case. Use case. So we have a blank diagram, a blank workspace. All right. So this thing concerning the use case diagram, we have to first set in our boundary, square boundary, right? Okay, so we have our boundary here, created our boundary, and the boundary represents a system. Okay, so we have this. So now let's introduce our activities, the use cases, right? So we have the first use case. This one it will generate reports for us, right? Or you first create the user. You first create a user. So you can write say create user. this activity, this function will be performed by somebody, by an actor. So we will come there. We just want to list our functions, the system's functions here. So as usual, I'll select or bold it to 18. Okay. So I can do copy and paste as well. So if I do, because I don't want to be doing, changing the font size and bolding it anymore. I just want to copy this one. So you click when you select it, all right, then you click, you press and hold the control key and the C key to copy it. As well, you can also right click on it, then you select the copy, you click anywhere in, you press the control P, control V, control V, or you right click anywhere, then you click on the paste. Let's search for paste. You don't have paste here. Or control V can paste it, all right? Or I think we can have duplicate. Control D, good. That is nice. So we just duplicate it. We have the same settings in here. Then where we have login. People will log into the system, right? So we have login. Then we'll do control D to duplicate it. Then let's say you have reports. System will generate reports. So we have generate reports. Okay. So let's play with this three. Okay, let's play with this three for now. Okay. All right. So now let's identify our actors. So actor one. So actor one will be here. We have our staff. Actor two will be here. Actor three will be here. So we have staff, admin, manager. So let's see. This actor, I want to change the name of the actor. So this actor will be staff. Let's do this. Staff. This one will be admin. And this actor will be HR. Okay, this actor will be HR. So now let's connect them. We use the line to connect them. So the line here, we have this. So we have to connect the staff. And what will the staff be doing? The staff will be logging in. Okay. So the staff will just log in. The administrator will also log in. So the administrator will log in. The administrator can also create users. User creates user. Right? Good. Then the HR. The administrator also logs into the system. Okay. So see how simple it is. I'm just doing drag and drop. Also logs into the system. Then the HR on the other side also logged into the system, as well as also creating users and getting reports. Salaries can be added to it, right? Salaries can be added to it. So with this, I can duplicate it. Just increase the size of the boundary. So I'll change the caption here to salaries or process salaries. So the process salaries will be done by the HR. So you have my HR here. Bam. So the use case, I have to get the use case title. So I'll bring my test here. I'll double click and enter attendance system use case diagram. Okay, so I'll move it and increase the font size. Then now I'll stretch the boundaries to make it look nice. So now therefore I'm done with the use case diagram. Wow, this is so nice. Eh? You see, it's so nice and simple. We are just done. So we have our use case diagram here too. So we have now represent our requirement to pseudocode to a diagram. We represent our diagram, our requirements, the written requirements to a visual form. So as I said earlier on, the UML, okay, the UMLs, that's the context diagram, use case diagram, flowchart, they transform, okay, they transform the user requirement to visual point of view, visual display. Okay, so let's save this one too. So in saving this one, you go to the same process. You click on file, you go to save as. So we change the type to PNG, then we save it on our desktop. All right. So let's go to our desktop and search for it. Okay, here it is. So I double click on it and it comes. So this is what we just did. All right. This is what we just did. Okay. So I believe that to this point, we can now, use the draw.io software with ease. It's not difficult at all. So whatever diagram that you see, you can play around it. Okay, whatever diagram that you see, you can play around it and see how nice work with the software draw.io. Okay, so I'll end this presentation here. I'll end the presentation here and prepare ourselves for the next class. The next class we'll be discussing pseudocode and flowchart diagram. Pseudocode and flowchart diagram. We take our time and go to pseudocode and flowchart diagram. Then when we are done with that one, we give ourselves some assignment. Then we move to the development, the software development itself. Okay. Getting interesting, okay? All right. So thank you for joining me to this point. All right. If you have any questions about the presentation, all right, you can drop in the comment box and I'll respond them accordingly, as I always say. Okay. And if you have not subscribed yet to this channel, kindly subscribe. Okay. Kindly subscribe and join this big family. Okay. So see you in the next video. Thank you.